that would work. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here. You might want to do yours too. There you go. Getting ready for the next matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We're getting ready for Threes Up versus Nexus with Van Seal and Launders. We've talked about it a little bit before about these two teams, how Nexus came up as a pug. Had like two guys last minute come in and basically form what they had and had a great victory against Ace Gaming that we casted earlier on. If you guys missed it, make sure you guys check it out on the VODs that we posted later on our Twitch. But I think that finished 16-7. And Threes Up actually had a huge loss against CLG.Blue on train 16-1. But now they're going to be looking to redeem themselves here, Launders, on Dust 2.
Yeah, so the storyline here is, do Threes Up become a new team on this map versus NXS, and do NXS suddenly poo the bed? Because they're the team that were expected to not do so well, ended up doing amazing. Threes Up, I felt like, had an advantage going into the match versus CLG and got pooped on, and now will be going up against each other. And I think a lot of it has to do with the map. Coming into this, Arya said that he was very confident going into train, which I'm surprised to hear because it didn't look like they were very coordinated. It didn't look like they were very confident, but I guess it's different, you know, from within the Mumble, the communication and maybe how they felt about each round. Now, are they playing Dust 2?
This one's going to be on Dust 2, indeed.
This one's going to be on Dust 2.
Yeah.
That's a pretty even battleground. I feel like, you know, a lot of room for individual talent to shine on this map. DSR maybe will continue his killing spree, dropping 34 bomb on
Ace Gaming.
Ace Gaming, yeah. Yep. On Inferno. T-side, 24 frags on T-side. I'll say it again. Said it 3 times, I'll say it 4.
Yeah, but at the same time, like you said, it's even playing grounds. It's Dust 2. It's basically Pugger's Paradise, and knowing that Nexus is actually a pug team coming into this one, you might see them just maybe be able to upset Threes Up at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about it. Arya was mentioning it, how they were so confident coming into train. I think you spoke to him a little bit more about the situation, about what the difference is playing a team on LAN versus a team online, and no one playing against CLG.Blue. They would never do this online, the way that they played today.
Well, he was talking about abusing footsteps, and that's just a LAN setting. Not this LAN specifically, but any LAN you go to, you know, a quiet or a loud LAN, it's always going to be hard to hear footsteps. That's just how it is. And he was mentioning how CLG were taking advantage of that fact by, you know, doing fast flanks constantly. And, you know, from his perspective, it was, okay, they got these fast flanks off and no one was watching. But from our perspective, I think it looked like CLG were picking the right moments to flank.
Definitely.
And we're making a lot of smart moves in that regard.
They had their entries. He mentioned that. Just couldn't hold it at the same time because of those fast flanks.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you're talking about footsteps or taking advantage of footsteps, at the end of the day as well, they did it pretty much 14 or 13 rounds out of 15 on the first half.
Exactly.
So they should have learned their lesson and then adapted through that. But, you know, he wanted to try something new. Didn't work out. Thankfully for Nexus, Threes Up Nexus actually banned Train, so Threes Up doesn't have a chance to actually redeem themselves on that map and try to readjust maybe a little bit more. And I'm pretty sure they would have played it a lot more confidently. Losing 16-1, you definitely want to come back with a lot more power and more strength, right?
Yeah.
More confidence coming into that.
Now, it's just going to be, I think, mainly about like what their CT setups are. Like, I think even though Train is like this puggy map, you know, that means that all top teams should feel confident on it. But the truth is that a lot of teams don't like Dust 2, right? And I think that's because there are a couple of ways to play, like your CT side. Like you can play your 3A, you can play 3A, 2B like old Dignitas did, or you could play a 2-1-2 with the op middle, which is a classic way to play Dust 2. No one does that. No one does that anymore. The op just gets smoked out, and you know, you can throw that Xbox smoke and just completely neutralize him. Or there's kind of like the more modern way of playing Dust 2, which is have one person in CT, have one person opping car, have one person anchoring long, and as long as you have strong individual players, you can rely on like 2 people at A to hold it down, and then you have enough firepower at B in case they do a mid-B split, or just do a B hit straight up. So I think it'll come down to like their CT setups. The T-side rounds should come a little bit easier. I think the last thing Skadoodle said as of recently was that Dust 2 has become a little bit more T-side. I'm going to take his word for it because I think it feels different for everybody. Sometimes CT side feels easier, sometimes T side feels easier, but that's what the man himself said. So,
just another thing as well, we talked about, as we're about to start actually the knife round, so if we don't mind getting to that, but at the same time, we talked about CT strats and CT setup. I think at the beginning of CSGO into the beta, moving into maybe the first few months of it, playing a map like Dust 2, you often also have 3 guys just pushing towards long to start things off, and you see this less and less. What's your thought of why we're seeing this, how it's evolved from this aggressive towards long and retake?
Because if you have someone spotting mid, then you can play 3 towards long, right? Hold long. If there's no rush, then 2 people can fall off, leave 1 person there, and it's a free way to secure a very important part of the map. Whereas if you send 1 person there by himself, maybe he dies, maybe you lose the round. So
wow.
And after that standoff, it looks like 3-Sup have the longer knives.
So we'll see what's going to be the side that they choose. Oh, look at that. So it looks like enemy saying good luck, have fun. I'm wondering if they're going to decide to just stay on T. That being said, might be a little bit more interesting, but you mentioned it. Skadoodle said it seems to be a little bit more T-sided today. And especially when you have strong guys with rifles such as DSR and Uber, the way that they've been playing so far, getting entries. And like you mentioned on Inferno, when he actually started doing boosts as well as a pug, you might start seeing this kind of stuff towards this matchup as well for Nexus. Would be quite interesting.
Yeah.
So using them for entries would actually pretty much overpower 3-Sup here. That kind of confused a little bit with what happened there on that scoreboard, because we actually do have the scoreboard mixed up. You have 3-Sup actually on that CT scoreboard, but they're actually playing on T side first.
Yeah, they called for a pause because they ended up on the wrong side somehow.
Yeah. So, well, with them starting now on T side for 3-Sup, what do you think their pistol round is going to be?
I have no idea.
We talk a lot about, well, we usually see a lot of like suicide drops and then take advantage of that middle.
Yeah.
Do you think pistol round, you see a lot of those mid to B splits to start things off, or do you see them more
I think like
moving as a group into a site?
I guess just on like a
into one entrance rather.
Right. On a side, like on a slightly side note, I think that towards like the longer a game gets, or the older a game gets, I guess like towards the end of 1.6, it got very individualistic, right? And we see CS:GO become more individualistic as well. Like there are a lot less top teams that have really strict calling styles, a lot more that have very loose ones. And Dust 2 would be the epitome of a map where you have like kind of like the most modern way to play the game, right? So if you're gonna come out with a pistol on T side and of Dust 2, and there's no new way to invent yourself, maybe you just play off spawn because that's your best advantage.
All right, so we rejoined them towards the. We rejoined them correctly, but we're seeing a lot of not live, so I don't think this is live right now. But just to be safe, I feel like we should call it. Okay, no, it's stopped by the admin, so we'll wait for this to start things off now. Looking at the roster rundown for the terrorist side, we'll have Rob Wiz, Ape, Sync, DSR, and Uber. This is for Nexus. Well, for 3-Sup, we have our regular 5, as you mentioned here, Launers, PC, Professor Chaos, Ape, Jason R. Arya, and Wabbit.
And so, like, the benefit of playing off of a spawn is that you have the advantage of getting into the site really early, right? Say on CT side, if your B player is on the left side of spawn, right, and you always have him play B, he's going to be really late to B, and if you have like a 5-man B spawn and you hit B, you have a distinct advantage going into the site. You're keeping it real simple, and again, there's no way to really cause like insane rotations early on a map where it's really easy to get information. So with that in mind, I think that's what you could very well see quite often on Dust 2, but here we have a quick push-up cat with an Xbox smoke. Jason R having a lot of pressure put on him. Will he hit a shot? He almost needs to. No, he falls off with his health, and they threw a smoke down, so that shuts down the cat push.
Ooh.
No, Uber finds one through the smoke.
Now, Jason R, he was trying to hide through that smoke, but it's not going to work. And finally, Wabbit trying to hold things off inside the A bomb site. But they had the site to fall back for the T side and work towards this B area. Great plan and great start for Nexus. It was a great attempt there by 3-Sup actually getting those boosts first. But that smoke that came from CT spawn over to that Xbox side definitely made it a lot favorable for Nexus. That being said, we have a 3 versus 1 bomb planted inside B. Wabbit's the last man standing. He will, of course, attempt to go for this. So he runs into the site. He does have a kit to work with, but he's already given his position away. Now inside the site, trying to clear it out, but he does not have enough information. So that round is going to come in for Nexus.
Yeah, a solid round from Nexus. All of a sudden, they were in B and planning, and they did it with a man advantage as well. Coming up Cat, though, Uber getting those 2 frags through the smoke, I mean, that's huge. It would almost have been an ugly round. I feel like even if the smoke hadn't been thrown, which it seemed like a great idea at the time to throw that smoke down, but with 3 people actually there from CT standing on Cat, that could have been an unfavorable position from NXS as they had the kind of low ground disadvantage, right? But it ended up going their way anyway, and they turned that into a round for themselves.
And we have a pause right now. It seems as though I would assume being the second round should be a tactical pause. Should be a technical pause. But let's refer back to that pistol round then. We've seen them push up towards that catwalk. It could have worked for a few shots because of that double boost that happened towards 3's upside. They had some good supports for some repeaks and try to get some picks. Of course, shots didn't connect. When they try to play that fallback game, they had 2 guys try to support on catwalk so that smoke could bloom fast enough. But just unluckily, we had the first one get headshotted by Uber moving in up on that catwalk as soon as that smoke went off, and that just gave a huge advantage there for Nexus to just take control of the whole map, actually.
Yeah.
Because you're forcing a rotation out of B, and at the same time, you've killed 2 guys up on catwalk, you're moving towards mid, you've taken control of mid as well, and there was a smoke towards CT spawn at the same time, so everything is covered, and Nexus just had a great round to start things off.
Yeah, they made a quick decision to jump out the door, and I think it paid off. Obviously, it did. Turned into a round. But it was that, that decisiveness that I think was so important. If they committed to Cat, it might have been really ugly for them, standing behind a smoke, forfeiting map control, allowing CTs to fall into different rotational spots, and then losing the advantage of having all that mid control, which is what they fought and earned. So it was good on them. And I wonder if that round would have been all that different if Uber didn't get that second kill through smoke. If you still got that first one, I feel like they still would have had a pretty good B split going on.
Yeah.
And I think pushing them off of Cat is what helped them out. 3-step, though, took that risk, pushed up Cat, and relied on hitting their shots, which is sometimes what a pistol round is about. I mean, you can have all the strategy in the world, but a pistol round isn't really about utility. It's about hitting headshots with a USP or closing the distance with a Glock train. And
unfortunately for that, when they were being pushed up, Jason R., who survived the initial push before the smoke went off, only had 16 HP remaining. So if actually the one catwalk did not get killed by that shot by Uber, I think it would have been still a site that they could be able to take, because they're going to push as a group. They're going to try to get those kills before. They're still going to be wabbit inside the site, but then they've committed with 2 easy kills moving up, and then they maybe would have taken that A-bomb site because Jason R was already at 16 HP. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think those Glocks were just more overpowered for Nexus in the way that they moved as a group, because they actually went for like pretty much a 3-3 setup in terms of that fight on catwalk. So they were even numbered, but just the initial shot, you said it. It was in favor of the terrorist team more than the CTs.
I wonder how this team actually formed.
For Nexus?
Yeah, it's pretty much just Ape with like 4 other players, right?
Yeah, yeah, actually it was. So originally Ape went in. So he's a local Toronto player. Played over an invite for a bit with DB9K.
RGN.
Yeah, RGN as well. And then now with Nexus, I think he had a roster that they played up at that. Was it Winout or was it RGN LAN? I think it was RGN LAN, because they had 2 Nexus squads that actually participated there. Coming into this one, there was some few issues. I mean, we could lay it down a bit. There's always a lot of people that are trying to steal players here and there right now, and trying to get them off contract and try to have some more roster shakeups going on. And Nexus and Ace Gaming was actually, there was some talks in there to try to get some players in. That being said, some players wanted to leave, some players didn't want to play. Ape then wanted to use Yayo and more local guys to play. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. So he got in last minute Rob Wiz yesterday night and synced as well. But originally having DSR and Uber was always part of his plan, being more like top tier, at least Toronto players, to actually have an all-out Canadian team to come out and play. So I mean, I guess that's how you get to know how this roster came together, because he knew them quite well playing at different events. There's a lot of small local LANs actually that happens in Toronto, kind of like what Lethal Gamers used to be. I think Lethal Gamers was out in Texas, and then you had Web 2 Zone in New York, and then you had local LANs in California and in Florida as well. Everybody just knows each other, and then you just start building up from there. But let's say we actually do have the unpause, so we'll get back into the game. It is 1-0 in favor of Nexus Gaming, so let's get into that. I have no sound, and we are going in with Uber at the point. But we actually have a stack actually from 3's up inside the B bomb site. So those 2 flashes forced enemy Uber and his teammates to fall back inside the B tunnels, and they're still pushing through for 3s up, and they get that frag. Interesting.
Oh, looks like this Oh, wow. Sinks might have a spray down here. A lot of kills coming his way and a lot of damage dealt already. So Jason R, the last man alive, goes down. And that was a really quick rotation out from NXS. They could have easily just stood there, decided to fight in tunnels and force their way into B, but instead just decided to avoid the action and run all the way to A. And I think that made a lot of sense. I mean, we saw them make another a similar quick rotation off of Cat into the mid B split. And I wonder if that's something that 3-Sub can maybe exploit at some point. But there it looks like they avoided a stack really nicely. Clean round from NXS in a situation where 3-Sub read the site they were going to.
Now this time for the CT side, they have a more of a stack towards middle and catwalk side, and already 3 guys going to rotate inside this B. They're going to flash to move in. They have actually 3 guys blinded, but this P90 is just too strong here. Now Jason R, though, recapitalizing with the P90, dropping 2 of his own. That is not bad for the save coming so far, but that spray, thankfully for CSGO now, these steel doors actually do a lot less damage. I was going to try to win that fight against DSR, but Ape's going to come in to sweep the kill, and it's going to be 3 unanswered rounds, 4 Nexus, but we're actually going to finally see the first gun round of this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a very telling gun round. Obviously, it's going to be very important for 3-Sub. You can get that quick 3-0. If you get the 4th one, though, you have a 5th for free, especially considering 3-Sub are investing in an op right now.
Yeah.
But that's not any type of risk. I mean, an op goes very long way on Dust 2, and it's pretty easy for you to secure those kills. And every time you get a kill with an op, you're also most likely saving your teammate from having to take a lot of damage from a rifle. So that's the other advantage. And Arya is going to spot one coming out of mid. He's going to smell blood, chases the frag, and actually gets it.
That's crazy. I mean, he timed it perfectly for Ape. He counted it, well, maybe not counted, but knowing that all those bursts that came through with that M4, decided to peek through the doors after. Now they have mid control. PC's fully flashed. Great job by Uber to come out, get that flash, get the kill, and just like that, it's a 3 versus 2, thankfully for Jason R, who came out towards that mid doors. But with the bomb being planted here, I think it might be the call for them to save their guns, and indeed, that's going to be the case. 4-0's our score, because Wabbit actually bought all the way down to 0 as well.
This is the one asterisk to the 5-0, okay? If you save enough equipment value on the 4th round, then maybe you put together a buy for the next one. The issue is that they don't have a majority player saving. That means that the drops are going to be very difficult. So if you have a majority saving, then you can have, like, you know, 2 drops and then someone with a little bit of extra money to buy nades. This time around, they've got an op, which might sway their decision quite a bit. I feel like it would be worth buying up behind this, unless you find a way to recycle it instead. I mean, you could put your op up at A with the rifle, hope they come to you, and you could still win the round that way, even if your teammates don't spend too much money. But yeah, it looks like they're going to buy it behind it and try to avoid that 5-0.
Yeah, and the good thing about it, too, is that they were able to save all utilities as well that they purchased at first. I mean, except for maybe a smoke that was thrown at the beginning of the round from Wabbit. But aside from that, they had enough money to go for drops for the 2 FAMASs from the 2 guns that were saved. But Saint is already going to open it up. An AK versus op that was actually one up on catwalk there, and I think that came from lower B. Yeah, 2 guys at lower B, now 2 guys up on catwalk as well. And you see that disorganization a little bit there from 3s up. One drop, they decide to go back for the boost up, so that Arya, who's at the staircase, tried to go for that high-low.
Oh, this is rough. Arya so flashed, actually comes away from it. Unblind gets 2 frags, looks for a 3rd. No, Uber trades him out, and now it's 3v2. Valiant effort from Arya, but now the man advantage is in the favor of NXS. PC going to be here looking over the cat. Wow, nice shot from him.
Oh, yeah, so it's a 2 versus 2. Indeed, so we do have DSR trying to, oh nice, he's gonna lob the bomb up for Uber to plant, and it's not actually planted for long, so this is gonna be a slight advantage for 3s up, because they know that one guy's gonna have to play tight inside the site, so if they could pinch in on him and get the kill, knowing that the last guy's playing towards long, they can make it a 2 versus 1 easily there, and Ape does so. Last man standing, DSR giving away his position by tossing that molly. Flash coming through, half blinded, and PC gets that frag. A great hold from him, actually, up on that elevator side, and 3s up finally opens things on the CT side to make it 4-1.
Yep.
They'll salvage that. They'll probably salvage that op too. That's why Abe actually got off that that bomb for the last few seconds. Yeah, they salvage it up on Catwalk.
You know, it's a very scary round. You lose your first man. Your first man is also your opera, and he is a mid. That's like the best way for NXS to secure a round. So they get mid control, they get the op down, they get the man advantage right away. And 3-sub from that came back. And the 2v2 ended up getting the win, and I think PC is to thank there, getting that first kill on the player crossing elbow. That was a tough shot to hit, and he managed to land it. Now Wabbit comes away from last round with a vengeance, opening up this round for his team. And it looks like there's almost a little bit of a duel here at long, but no, it might just be a couple of players trying to find each other through a smoke. Mid control once again, NXS is...
He's doing it alone, though. It's going to be Abe. And that smoke actually wasn't good enough, so that's why he's going to fall back. There was such a huge gap there that he could still see from CT spawn, so that fake is not going to work. But they are going for a 2-1-2 setup for 3-sub instead, so they have Wabbit open towards Playmaker at that car. He does get the first pick, trying to go for the counter flashes for his teammates to rotate across. They will manage to get the plant for Catwalk, though, so this could be huge for NXS, especially the fact that they lobbed in Molly down towards the elevator. Indeed, worst timing ever. But Arya on that rotation takes down DSR, and they're on a 5-man retake, and this is looking a lot better for them this time.
Oh, that smoke. Actually doing more harm than good, it looks like, but it doesn't matter. I mean, 5 players alive. All they have to do is stop Abe. Abe knows he has no chance to win this, and will actually come away from the action, just grabbing the op back on Cat. And they will recycle that. A 3-sub, get a second round, a very dominant one, too.
Oh, yeah.
To come out of that. And again, we look at the scoreline. It's 4v2. Nexus, though, and I guess I can say Nexus. It's much easier to say than NXS. Hardest acronym world. But only have 1 rifle round on top of their pistol and 2 anti-ecos, and Wabbit again opening up the rounds. We got to count how many times that happens, because that should be around every time he does it. But Uber finds the trade on the re-peek.
Thanks for a flash from his teammate, though, to actually partially blind Wabbit. Oh, nice dink indeed there from Jason R inside that pit, but they know exactly where he's at. They force him to the bottom, so they're going to probably go for a drop kill fairly soon. They actually don't even want to waste their nades in either. But nice flashes there. That forces Ape to come out. But they actually wasted 2. They probably should have only thrown 1. So that's a little bit of miscommunication at the end of the day. It's a better take for long, but we already have the rotation coming through from CT's side to prevent them from working out. So we did have an op battle at the beginning of the round with Rob Wiz being the opper for NXS. But it didn't pay off, but at least Uber is able to capitalize back.
Good flash. Got that information. Now, Uber's here at long, and the great part about long control and why it's so important and why we talked about how sometimes we have the CT side pushing 3 aggressively at the beginning of the round to hold it is because once you have long control, you can sit there unnoticed, have your op in pit, and then go to the other side of the map, or just sit there and take it late and cause a lot of confusion for the CTs, who you can control the rotations of. And look, they put Ape all the way in B just to make a lot of noise, but they haven't actually caused the rotation quite yet. I mean, will they catch someone off guard? No. PC holding car strong, gets the second frag as well, a 3rd on the round, and Ape goes down.
Oh, I think he just died before the timer ran out, too. We'll have to look on the next round. Ape, no, he's got 3K, so just luckily there. So yeah, he's got the same amount of as his teammates, but that's a great round for 3-sub, staying patient. But miscommunication coming in from Nexus' side. But at the same time, it's because they didn't have enough time to work with. As much as Abe wanted to try to sell a fake into B, they were never going to be able to have a full rotation coming through towards that B bomb site. So smart move for 3-sub to know the time that was remaining in the round for them to stick their positions and basically backstab Nexus that are trying to cross towards car.
Oh, now we have the group towards the smoke. Rob Wiz in front. Looks like he's been the entry man of the day. Will he lead a charge, though? Flash came in. There's 2 in B. A late one comes in, and I don't know if they caught anyone off guard. It looks like no one is blind. 1 on the door, 1 on the site. Abe gets a kill. He gets a second. He's looking for a 3rd, and he goes down. Abe with a couple of headshots. Nice help from his teammates. Arya cleans up the round, and now it's 4-4.
And that's another great display of patience there, and better teamwork as well. They actually didn't want to have that aggressive player that was outside B for 3-sub to move into the double doors to get those kills, because he basically played the crossfire. If he saw him cross towards the doorway, if they weren't crossing that, his teammate was covered. Arya up on that balcony. So, they went for a double op setup this time, though. And same thing from the other side, and it's going to be Nexus that takes the advantage. It's going to be DSR and Ape opening things up at mid and long, respectively. And just like that, they only have 1 op remaining with Ape trying to hold B, but they have so much map control now for T side.
Oh, now we have a huge disadvantage for 3-sub. We can see Wabbit just trying to push up aggressively to try to get a peek. They need that information. They need the man advantage. They need map control, and he recognized that. Unfortunately, that Molotov discouraged him from pushing any farther, and it looks like, wow, Nexus just picking the right site, absolutely avoiding all three CTs completely. Going to get in the site clean. I mean, this is almost a situation where you just save straight up. There's almost no way to retake.
For sure. They wasted the 2 ops at the beginning from Arya and Jason from Jason R and Wabbit at the same time. Wabbit not able to save his current op. I thought at this point you wanted to just try to go for exits and salvage back that AWP that was lost at the beginning of the round. But at that point now, it's pretty much GG here. Abe's going to be the last man standing at lower B. He's not going to be anywhere close to pick up an AWP behind now. But he should be able to save it safely now towards B tunnels. If you're looking at an overhead view, Rob Wiz is all the way towards T-spawn, so they're actually spreading away from that B bomb site. So Abe is looking good, at least in terms of being able to salvage a gun.
Wow, Nexus actually putting these ops to work, grabbing 2 frags right away, and then just picking the right side. I mean, I don't know if Ape has spent much time calling, and he is calling, right?
Yeah.
He's doing a pretty good job, I'd say. I mean, just the mid-round calls have been on point, picking the right sides at the right moments, and getting that clean entrance is just what they need. I mean, we have seen 3-sub be stalwart at A versus what seemed like it could have been a fake, but overall, I think Nexus have had some really noteworthy reads as well. Yeah. That
displays a lot of, nice pick there by DSR at the beginning. So again, a big pick coming through, and Wabbit's already inside the B bomb side. Whiffs that shot. He's being spammed through down to 44 HP. Looking for some backup, but at this point, B should be open for business, especially with that smoke coming through towards that double doors. And just like that, they're going to force him back. So they should be able to move in quickly and safely inside this B bomb site for a plant, but they're still playing closer to doors, though, for 3-sub. Well, I'm still looking to make his way across and try to get this bomb plant down. Oh, but just like that, it's going to be Nexus that seems to take the upper hand.
That's a rip. I mean, that's 100% safe right now. You have 2 ops, your 2 CTs outside of a bomb site of 5 terrorists, and that's the B bomb site on Dust 2, not one you want to be near.
Yep.
CT the spotted. Arya is going to have a hard time saving. They know exactly where he is and how far he can get.
Uber hears him. This is going to be tough. He's going to have to land that shot. He does so, thankfully, but now he's pinned up on Catwalk. He gets a leg shot onto Sync, unfortunately.
Wow, that looked like it was just above him, above the leg, too. Yeah. He might have been moving or something, or hit him through the wall as he turned the corner. I'm not sure. But
or a small crotch.
Is small.
No, but to think about it.
As casters, we have to know all about players' crotches.
Exactly. It's all about knowing about the players and stats.
Inside and out.
No, but I was going to say, it shows how much leadership Ape is displaying as well. To be able to call these type of rounds against a solid 5-man, a full roster of 3s-up, and still take the advantage of a 6-4 score up on T side. I mean, four rounds for 3s-up is still looking very good for the first half, right? Since we're looking at more T-sided map these days. But Ape being able to call these and just let them roam and get their frags, it's great displays of in-game leadership.
Yeah. I mean, Nexus have a small lead. I'd say in terms of like actual rifle rounds, they're pretty much on par. I mean, if they come away with this, then it's just going to be like so dominant to the point that they have so many rounds. And oh man, Synced actually cleaning up that push through the smoke after all his teammates are blind. Knew exactly what was about to happen. But you take those risks on eco rounds, and 3-sub are going to have a hard time making this expensive at this point. DSR might have a farm fest on his hands.
Yeah.
Oh, no, or not.
And that's great, actually. That's an op shot as well onto Rob Wiz. So they might be able to salvage some guns here. So this is a good start for Wabbit to have the AWP. All right, he says, I'm just going to save this. You guys, good luck with the other gun. So Abe's going to pick up the AK-47. So pretty good, actually, in terms of what was going on for 3s-up. If the stack didn't work towards that mid side, then they wanted to go for exits to pick up guns. They wanted Jason Arno to be a bit lucky. But, sorry, towards the end of the day, they still managed to salvage 2 guns and get 2 kills, so to make it a little bit expensive for Nexus. But at this point, they've won, what, like 3 rounds in a row, so they still have great economy on their side.
I'd say this is probably the most important round of the half so far. It's going to be very telling. It's going to be, let's see how expensive it is for 3-sub. Not necessarily a 2-for-1, I would say, especially with the loss bonus in the favor of 3-sub. I think actually, maybe not as important as I thought. I mean, ultimately, 3-sub are going to want it more than Nexus is because of their deficit, but at the same time, both teams will most likely be able to buy after this, and so it's basically going to be just a show of dominance and also a a vote of confidence on their side if they're able to come away with this T or CT round.
And there is that basic thing that you're seeing here, Londers, so their basic strategy for 3s up. So they have that Opera at Kara, one pushing aggressively at long, all the way up to the doors as well. One at CT, and they rotate back towards B as well. And Uber gets the opening kill to make it a 5-on-4, and I think that was towards B. So he makes it inside the site, trying to win this one against Arya. Well, he stinks him down to 12 HP, so this could still be a big opening for them right now.
We'll see how they take advantage of it. Arya does get traded out. Still sending a car. Now Rob Wiz is crossing into the site. He's the only man here, though, and he has the bomb. Actually, he has a player in tunnels to help him out. Also, Synced at mid is going to help him out with the quick split and gets a second kill for his troubles. That's a huge failure on the part of Teresa, who just simply needed to trade the frags. And unfortunately, Nexus were able to trade much better.
I think luckily for PC, they should. Yeah, they're actually going to try to hunt him down. I thought they wouldn't really want to, knowing that they still have two ops alive instead of AKs to try to hunt him down, but might utilize this op to try to pick up on Catwalk. So Ape's already there up on the Xbox, still spotted on that cat. He's now pinned.
Yeah, he's going to have to take a fight at some point. Ape's waiting for him to come over to that side of Cat, and it looks like he will, but no one's here. Where did Ape go? An X-ray can't find him.
That's crazy. I don't know how that happened, but we'll finally have a tactical pause coming in, I'm assuming, at this point.
Yeah, and that's just Nexus feeling really confident. Actually, it was expensive to the point that you might consider saving. And the reason being is that CT side is so expensive, and they don't have enough money for an op. So it's like, do we want to get 2 FAMASes on the board? Do we want to get M4s and just lone nades? Or do we want to wait for an op and half buy here? And that's a decision they can make. It'll be 4-9 if they do opt to save. And is that a deficit they want to have to come back from? I mean, anything's not so bad on Dust 2, but at the same time, rounds are just as easy for the team that you're facing on the other side too. So you have to consider that as well.
Yeah, and you have to look at the economy system as well. I mean, at this point, the amount of rounds that were won by Nexus so far, there's a lot of economy that's been built up. I mean, we can see it right here. Ape has $10,000 in the bank right now with the AWP. His teammates maybe a little bit less, but you still have Rob Wiz and Uber at 87 and 84 respectively. So they're looking good to pretty much buy for the last few rounds of the half. Maybe lose 1 or 2 in a row until they're actually forced to save. But at that point, it's going to be looking pretty good for Nexus so far on their T side.
Yeah, ball's absolutely in the court. I mean, they can do whatever they want now. I mean, I don't want to say they have rounds to blow, but no matter what happens, as you mentioned, they're going to be able to buy. So it's it's a lot more stressful for 3-Sup in this situation. They want to put together a solid CT half. I think 6 rounds at this point would be solid. Obviously, 7 would be fantastic for them, evening up. That would swing the economy back in their favor. They might not be able to earn themselves a save, but it really wouldn't matter. You just go into the second half, eat your losses, and win a pistol.
And we talk about it a little bit here, Launders. I actually watch your stream from time to time when you're like...
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Are you
right?
subbed?
I'm not subbed. I should do it.
Non-sub pleb.
I should sub my buddies.
Feels bad, man.
Next time. As soon as I get home and I see you on air, I'll do it. But the thing is, I see you casting and, or should I say, streaming a lot where you're going to do some basic strat calls and try to call things out. That being said, you have the basics of calling strats, being an in-game leader. What do you think is going on in Arya's shoes right now? Falling behind by that much, losing those fights, and not being able to win those gun rounds actually against Nexus.
I think like Wabbit's not having the impact that he needs to have on with his op. Yep. I mean, I feel like he wants to have more of an impact. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I feel like getting an extra couple of picks because the ops have been so much more effective on T side that he's got to be kicking himself in the ass a little bit about that fact that he's letting them get away with that. I don't know if he's ever got outpicked, but if his teammates are dying on other parts of the map without him getting kills, that's a problem. And I guess you can put that in their responsibility in their hands as well. But I think the main issue is where do we put this op so we can be most effective? And how do we put this op so that a T op comes and peeks it? Because that's the best way for me to secure a kill and also take down a huge advantage for the other side, for the T side of the map.
Well, as he calls it this time at the unpause, it's going to be a pistol buy coming in for the team with 5.7s and small armor. So still trying to manage the economy to maybe be able to still buy those AWPs on the next round, as you're mentioning, Launders, at that pause. That being said, they're going to try to alert towards this long area for the terrorist team. Uber, that gap in the smoke, he's actually going to try to walk through it. A lot of noise is going to be made, but Ape is just going to get that kill there on to, I think that's Arya, yeah, that was trying to push through that smoke. So Ape's going to be the last man standing, trying to keep this AK-47s in his hands. But the bomb is going to get planted, so it's going to be the easy round coming in for Nexus. It's going to be 9-4, as you predicted.
I mean, I think, yeah, like them half buying here, it was just one of the options, right? And I think it makes sense. Like, it's conducive with the way they've been playing their CT rounds previously, and that's just have an op every time that they've won. And I think it makes sense to want to save for that. And more than that, even if they didn't get an op, they would have just had low nades in the first place, and that's just not a good place to be in. It's very uncomfortable as a CT to have low nades, you know, have a FAMAS, and really be at risk in all parts of the map. But, oh, here, they don't save the last gun. And that's a very, very dominant round from Nexus, who will move into this versus one op so far. 2 ops, there it is.
And that double op setup, though, at the same time, they lost him immediately for 3s up the last time we saw that. So it's going to be a double op versus double op again. Last time was towards that mid doors. This time there's no picks. But Wabbit is going to get flash for his teammates to try to get that pick at long, but nobody's there this time. So PC will have to try to hold inside B. Nice shot there onto DSR. So that is 1 op down for the T side, but doesn't know that there's another one lurking on that area. So Uber could take the advantage. And gets it. So it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, Opper for Opper, and also a B side slightly open, trying to see if anybody's going to push out on that side. But that smoke bouncing on the other side knows that Abe was playing towards the doorway, and at this point, they should go for a mid to B smoke. And there you go. He called it in that match in the all chat. 2 guys on the same side.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
He just said left, but because that was his perspective.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. Now, Abe, a lot of pressure on him to get this kill. Oh, and he doesn't. Uber actually having a huge impact here. And it looks like the A split is actually coming out. I mean, they're running into the only A player, so they kind of played into the hands of 3-Sup, but because everybody got a kill, and oh, Wabbit missing another shot, they make that a tough round to win.
That's just overconfidence coming in from Nexus at this point now. They're playing amazing in terms of their gun rounds. Yep. But yeah, who would expect that? 2 guys on the same side with an AWP.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think Professor Chaos was right to be surprised. And it looks like we're going to have a pick middle here. They've definitely earned the ability to do this. And a lot of damage is being dealt. Oh my goodness, a player going down. Abe dying in the most undignifying way possible.
4 FAMASs and M4 is the only thing that they could afford there for the team, and not even a kit. So that's why you're seeing them playing it a little bit more aggressively on 3's upside.
Somehow we had a player sneak in a lower, but oh, PC.
No! Did he just 360 tap him in the face?
Abe, yeah, just shot him down.
Oh my god.
Tranquilized him.
So at least Arya is boosted up, trying to get a better angle, but at this point things are just falling apart for 3's up. They look confident at the beginning of the round, but now how many rounds is that in a row that they actually lost? We're looking at 6 now.
Yeah.
So it was a 4-for-4. And then 6 in a row for a Nexus. And they finally try to turn things around up on Cat. It works, but then Rob Wiz jumps up on the Xbox to retaliate with 2 of his own.
Oh, look at this. They have the 1 player alive from CT side, trapped in B while the bomb is running A. I mean, they have no way to lose this round.
He's been there the whole round, too, for Ariel. I mean, there's not much he could do because they're all over the place.
Oh, Ariel actually might come lower and find this kill. Or will he? No, he won't.
11-4 for Nexus at the beginning, at this half, but as I was mentioning, it's hard for 3's up to try to do rotations or try to work around as a team and try to double up because Nexus is so confident with the way they're playing terrorists so far that they're pushing at long, they're pushing at mid, they're pushing at B. They're getting those picks so that you can't really have 3's up rotate out to support teammates because you're just giving up a site.
Yeah.
Or you're giving up a key choke point as well.
Yeah, I really love how like Ape is calling these rounds like to leave 1 person here to catch a rotation. That person almost always gets a kill, and you know that does come down to individual effort as well, which you can count on his team obviously. Beyond that, like after the 4 rounds at 3-1, I mean they just went to sleep. Nexus won that I thought round that was pretty defining, except for the fact that both teams had money. Then we saw the save come out. The double ops come out, and then that failed, and then from there they just lost out. So at the end of the day, when you look at the scoreline, it's 11 Nexus, 4 3-Sup. If you came halfway through this half, you would have seen 3-Sup with some life in them, but that quickly drained, and I wonder if their hopes have too.
Well, let's see what is lurking up on the sleeves of Arya, and it's going to be a 5-man push towards long. So they threw decoys at mid just to try to see if they could get some diversions there. But you already have a quick rotation coming through from the CT side. Flash is coming across. They have made it up. There's only one guy inside the site, so he's going to have to play it big. It's going to be DSR, but there comes that big flank coming through. Sync trying to get that kill, but it's going to be Uber that gets the first blood of this round. Just like that, they're coming across up on Catwalk for the retake as well with Rob Wiz and Ape all together to at least get the bomb pod down for some money. So that's a good start for 3s up. Capitalize up on Catwalk. It's going to be PC, so he actually gets a 4K. Looking for an ace right now up against Uber. On a 3 versus 1, Uber is going to decide to maybe fall back. I mean, he's invested a lot towards the armor. Oh, but he gets goosed there. And at that point, yes, indeed, he will fall back and save that USP armor. But what a great round there for PC on that whole pulse plant.
Yeah, I mean, they were in the worst position possible. They got the bomb down, but they had no long control and no cat control and no safe way to plant. And they put the bomb down. They're all on site, which is the worst place to be after plant. And then then PC just hits 4 headshots. You know, like, I mean, what more can you say? Like, it just comes down to a sick hold by him. And if not for that, really, I mean, they would have just been in a dreadful position, honestly. Like, they had just the worst after plant spots after, and not even by choice. You know, and they didn't put themselves in bad spots. They just had the fast flank come out for Nexus, who got information in the right spots, and it almost cost them.
And 3s up just wants to play aggressively so far. Oh, the jumping MAC-10 in the face of Sync, courtesy of Abe. As they're going to move through, he gets a second one there. So they did have the scout from Arya at T-spawn, trying to scout it out first to see how many crosses. He was able to call out 2. Now he's watching the flank it, and everybody's just dropping like flies. Uber's going to be the last man standing, trying to get this one against Arya and salvage that scout. But at this point, he will get some cover and some backup very soon. He manages to tag Uber down to 31 HP, who did purchase AP 250 for this round here, but he's going to get flanked from behind by Jason R. And that's a lot of money, and that's actually brought in with the submachine guns that are purchased from 3's upside. So 2 kills there for Abe. That's $1,200. Another one coming through with that MP7 from Jason R. That's $600. So I'm wondering if this is all they're going to try to do, play aggressively every single round.
Yeah, it's up to 3-Sep to stay calm right here. They want to clean up this round, and it looks like because they're not going up against an armor buy, they know that they're going to have an easy time doing it, and they want to collect as much money as possible, and that's why we see all the SMGs on the board. And it looks like the AKs get most of the kills. A nade in there, too.
Great spray by Wabbit, too.
Pretty quick stuff, and now they're going to drop those MAC-10s, only a grand for those, so it's not a big loss at all. Every kill you get, an extra $600 almost pays for itself.
Exactly, and they've kept it from the rounds before, and at this point they still have another B spawn. I mean, that's 3 aggressive rounds that they played, and they won. This time, they're still running fast, actually, towards that B area to take control of Catwalk. But now it's finally going to be a little bit more slow, knowing that we have rifles in the hands of Nexus. At this point, the confidence seems to be coming back on their side with the way they have pushed inside this B bomb site, covering the right angles, and actually getting those sprays that actually connect too. So they're not shaken up from the half that was resulted from that first half.
This is the most standard Dust 2 that we see. I mean, this is the setup that we're talking about, where you just have B control, you have 1 in CT, you have 1 at card, and you have 1 person playing long. And it looks like because Cat is forfeited, 3-Sep are going to take this and try to use this information to turn it into something. The issue is that you can always give up Cat because you can just opt from the site, and I think that's where, actually, where is Rob? Is he at middle, or is he? Yeah, he's opping car, okay. So, in a sense, they've almost given up long, but this 4-1 split, will it work versus the setup? I mean, no one's there to actually challenge the last man at long.
Go for flashes as well towards that elevator side, but the op shot's being missed by Rob Wiz, and the second one connects, so DSR still inside that site. They cannot get through this wall, and at the same time they drop the bomb carrier. So Uber getting another one, and that's actually a flawless round for Nexus.
I mean, just a beautiful round. Look at all those dead bodies in the same spot on Cat. I mean, they just melted, and it was because DSR hit some really good shots. I mean, there's a proper pop flash that came out, and ultimately they had the posturing to deal with more aggression towards Cat, and that's why on this map people don't play Cat anymore. Like, you go there for the opening pick, but beyond that, like, playing 2 Cat is almost not necessary. That's just a place where people can channel their nades, and T's, even with that control, can't do much. So giving it up isn't the biggest disadvantage. Having that op on the A side, and just defending from plat, defending from car, watching long, and having it mobile, it seems to be the most optimal way to use it. And looks like that's how Nexus ended up winning that first rifle round, which puts 3-Sup at a disadvantage.
And you're right, too. When we're having an aggressive play up on Catwalk is to try to get a pick down towards that lower B. But usually when you don't see action happening there, you see them fall back and then try to readjust to play on more of that default of that CT spawn car play. So Arya is going to set up for a smoke at long. One still lurking towards lower B. So at this point, it's looking to be a split towards this A site. So they will try to do it again since it didn't work the first time, but for Nexus's side, they've actually switched over their positioning. So they actually have an op for Rob Wiz, but playing inside the site instead to watch up on Catwalk instead of trying to opt from card towards long. So a little bit different.
Look at these rotations. They're actually shifting over, I mean, pretty much perfectly to adjust to what looked like a heavy long. And it looks like the 4-1 is actually going to work out in their favor. Again, only man alive is in CT. That's Uber. He goes down. PC good at both angles on that shot.
DSR, though, still alive, dropping 3. And also the bomb carrier, and there's only 8 seconds left on the clock, so if they're alive long enough to just hold this bomb, Jason R is at 3 HP as well. This is going to be the round coming in for next. Oh no, they get the plant at least. So they save a little bit more time. Wabbit getting 2 off shots, and now it's a 2 versus 1. Is it planted for long at least? I'm getting somebody's face. Wabbit's inside the pit. The plant is for him at least. Ape will have to connect this shot. So now they both spot each other here. And Ape actually wins that one, and he will get the defuse. Luckily right now for Nexus, but at the same time, what a valiant round for Wabbit there. Couldn't do everything, but he did his part.
I mean, yeah, he did his part, but DSR, I mean, DSR getting the 3K as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that was almost a clean round from 3-Sup. They turned that long control into a 4-1 split, the exact same thing they did again, except they're like, this time we're going to neutralize that guy on site. They did it, and then they got across. The DSR got a 3K out of nowhere. I mean, I don't even know how that happened.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. I mean, that damages your economy, that damages your motivation, that damages your straight-up round score, which is, you're getting to these critical rounds, again, 13, 14, 15. Any one of these could be a save or a double save and result in you being on match point, simply losing 1 rifle round. So, fact is, 3-Sup recognize this, have to buy what they can, and that means 2 Tech 9s.
Aggressive coming in towards that B tunnel, so they tried to get some information going on there, but Singh couldn't connect. So PC's gonna get the first kill of this round one more time, but Ape quickly retaliates back. So they've going for this rotation, trying to readapt. They're trying to go for that split from outside B as well, and Jason R gets the kill. And another one with the Tech 9 in the face of Ape. So they will get this bomb plan towards B. Might be able to turn things around from here.
Look how far they are. They're just going to...
Yeah, they're going to save this.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that they have less to lose. No, actually, Nexus's money isn't great. I mean, they won the last 2 rounds, but the most recent round was actually a 1v1. So... Yeah. Overall, very costly, and that means that the 2 guns are saving now. It makes a lot of sense, yeah.
So they'll probably go with the AWP rifle and a few pistols for Nexus at this point. But with the way that they've been playing aggressively and has worked out, I think, at the beginning of the half, when they tried to save with those pistols on the second round, they were able to get a few kills. Maybe they'll try to do it again, see if they can get some frags here.
I wonder if they're going to just buy behind this, or if they're just gonna. Yeah, it looks like they are just gonna buy behind it, and I get it, because if they win this, then that puts 3-Sup in a horrible position. On top of that, they have such a round lead that even if they make this expensive, it's worth it. So there's a lot more to lose for Nexus, or for 3-Sup, excuse me. And they do come out with a B hit and the opening frag on a solo man playing it. Perfect time to hit the site.
PC gets another one here with a huge spray coming in. Does a bump chest against his opponent, and Uber almost got that kill, but saved by Arya. Just like that. And coming inside that B-bomb, and get another plant coming through here for 3-Sup. 3 guys inside the tunnels. They're looking good here to support each other to get another round, and most likely not lose any rifles on the exit either.
Yeah, I mean, this is close. I mean, now that 3-Sup have 9 rounds, Nexus are on a save here. They forced up that round that we just watched, and they did it because their money bonus wasn't going to allow them to buy next anyway. And because they had that op, they decided that that was going to be a worthwhile investment. Ape making it expensive, though. Actually gets 2 kills on the save. I think will find a pretty good gun for his troubles. Yeah, he gets an M4. And Rob Wiz also getting another kill. This round is way too expensive for 3-sub right now. They have to call it quits, and yeah they do.
Yeah, I was wrong. I thought they were going to be able to save those guns quite easily, but they went for the hunt, and like you said, it cost them a lot. They're going to be forced to drop this round as well. So that's going to be another big round and a crucial one coming in for them, because they lose this one, they'll be at $1,400, which 3 of them we just saw quickly will probably have to save. So big round that is needed for 3-sub to win. Same thing for Nexus, but a little bit more on their side in the economy if they lose this one here.
Going for long control makes a lot of sense, but look, man, Nexus taking a risk here, pushing up mid, and will they expect a second person here? It doesn't matter. Even if he was looking for that kill, Uber gets the better of him. And good on him for not getting too greedy and looking for that gun, knowing that there's going to be a lot of terrorists around, and Wabbit, wow, just in the worst timing, actually misses a player in suicide. Will that actually get him killed? He has the bomb. If he gets spotted, that's a huge frag. And it looks
they
like
both have their knives out.
This is so awkward. Who will get the frag? And oh my goodness, he finds it.
So the bomb is still alive with 2 HP. It would have been funny if they just went straight ahead, face to face, to go for a knife fight, but it is going to be now 3-sub, regrouping back towards T mid, and then work back towards the A side. Aria gets to pay down towards lower B as well. So Rob Wiz is going to be LMS, trying to get a pick out from possibly CT spawn. Here comes that cross. Gets the first one. Trade does not work, but then Arya, that supports his teammates, comes out for the kill.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be 13-10.
Yeah, I mean, 3-sub standing tall right now. They are meeting that rotation game to the same level as Nexus is. I think they obviously expect that of themselves, and it goes to show that, like, they maybe are playing this a little bit better than they were last map, and I think they do have a chance to come back now. Even though this was a 4-11 half, 3-sub have earned themselves enough ecos to make this look competitive, and Aria trying to put this op to work, actually having 2 ops on their T side. Nexus have none. In my opinion, I mean, this obviously actually leaves A a lot weaker. I mean, part of the reason you can play a 2-1-2 is because you have an op on A that's like having 2 players there. You get the free pick almost certainly, you get 2 almost certainly, and Nexus don't have that. But will 3-sub have the read? I mean, going towards B as well with ops doesn't make as much sense. If they're able to find the kills, though, that might make them want to do it. Now, it looks like they have what looks like a B split with 2 ops. It seems a bit risky, but if they can isolate a player, it might work out.
Is there even a smoke for CT spawn as well? But the stat comes through. Yes, there is that smoke for CT spawn. Still looking through A's POV. And after those picks, they decide to fall back, or attempt of picks, they decide to fall back from mid doors down to lower B. And it's going to be just a 5-man push out inside this B bomb site with 30 seconds left on the clock. So it's a 30-second call to push in. Abe is not even blinded at all. So here comes the spray. 1, 2, 3. PC's now the last man standing, and this is going to be it. A lot of frustration coming through, as you saw from 3-sub there. He at least will get a bomb plant for 3-sub. But he's got 12 HP against 3 guys, so that nade does not even hurt him at all. So he's stuck as soon as he peeks up. Go for it by Rob Wiz.
You know, if they could have seen the map for themselves with wall hacks on, they wouldn't have gone B, right? Now, but on top of that, they had 2 ops. So it's like B is so super unfavorable. So they must have had some sort of read, like Arya thinking, all right, it's going to be 1B in this situation. We smoke mid to B. We cleared out mid. We know no one's there. Let's just hit B altogether. I think it was better for them to go all through tunnel than it was mid to B because they had Uber sitting in spawn boxes. But at the same time, Nexus were set up so well for a B to B split that since they had the information on mid, they had 2 guys that could focus on B tunnels completely. And obviously, Ape getting those 3 kills by himself was enormous.
Well, Synced keeping things alive and the streak rolling for Nexus, but then quickly traded out by Arya as they're pushing aggressively towards B. Maybe this is what 3-sub needs. Their first 3 rounds that they won, they played it very aggressively. This time, they already have people inside this B bomb site, crossfire for flank as well. And with the bomb plant, things are looking better for them here to just rush as a team. At this point like that, all 4 of them deciding to fall back and save their guns right away for Nexus. So
yeah,
I think this has got to be the call for 3-sub. Just keep pushing.
I know. It actually made a lot of sense. Like they, it seems super scrimmy, like just rush B,
Yeah.
but in that situation, I mean, I think they had a read that that Nexus were going to play that that B site with one person in the early round, and that they took advantage of that. It worked for them in the past, and I think Nexus figured after that last round in B, there's no way they're going to try it again. Let's play it light. And I think it was just a hard counter by hitting it again. It seems stupid, but it's because you're kind of trying to counter what your opponent thinks of you now after the round that just happened, and it ends up working out really well. 3Sup still at a 3-round disadvantage. Nexus, I think, still very much in control of the game, though this one is worth 2, and if they don't win it, they will be on a save, and 3Sup will have had a really good T-half in the sense that they've earned themselves quite a few eco rounds.
And they decide to do the same thing again, just a rush inside the B bomb site, but this time, counter flashes came through and a smoke as well. All right, let's fall back, recuperate, but it's just going to be a group push every single time. 4 3s up so far, so they're going to try to take control of this middle. Waiting for these smokes to dissipate, I think, is when we're going to start seeing them push a little bit more aggressively. Do you think they're going to try to work back towards this B area towards the end, as soon as the smokes dissipates?
Well, we can only call that if they give up, if they forfeit control of the other side of the map completely, and it looks like DSR. Will he see the arm of Arya right here on Cat? It looks like he almost did. He's definitely heard something, and that's going to alert him, but will that cause a rotation? I wonder if Arya wants to make noise. It's hard to say, and it looks like he's calling for a flash, and he's going to take the peek now, and he does get the kill. Arya goes down.
Well, this is going to be the call then for the rest of the guys to push inside this B bomb site. They know that one towards the back of the platform. Jason Nars trying to get that pick, but it's going to be PC that does so, and Abe retaliates back onto Ape. So now still one at the window. Nice molly to keep them inside the window. DSR is actually burning down to 30 HP, trying to get a pick into the bomb planter, but didn't work. Spray coming through though from Uber through the smoke is going to be able to take down Abe. This is going to be huge for them right now for this attempt of a retake for Nexus.
Yeah, huge round. I think this is pretty even. 2 people to hold the site. They've got to deal with everyone coming through window. Jason R getting the spray down on 1. DSR, though, finds him, and now it's all on Wabbit and his op. He's got to hit this shot. He does hit it, and he gets a free shot on the bomb planter, or diffuser, excuse me. Now it's just him versus DSR, but DSR's out of time. He's done his job.
Great job there by Wabbit. So keeps it alive, unfortunately. I mean, it was stressful for him not landing those first shots, and actually DSR wasn't able to save his M4 as the bomb went off. This is going to be big right now for 3Sup.
No, it looks like 3Sup just have a ton of success at B, and that was even versus 2 players. You're never going to have a situation where you put 3 players in B with rifles. On an eco round, however, you might consider stacking it. And it looks like, wow, Rabbit through the smoke actually finds a kill on a player crossing. I don't know if that's going to tell him much. He won't actually know how many players have crossed apart from that, just because of that smoke, but
you still have lurkers there. You can see Jason R. He's watching that flank. He's watching for aggressive pushes, and DSR is about to walk into this. As soon as his flash comes through, he's blinded. He's going to hear their footsteps at least. He has teammate support from his teammates as well. But PC is not connecting the shot, so this could be big right now. They're closing in from both angles, and now 2 guns are lost for 3's upside. At least Wab is going to try to op it towards lower, but smart a move here for the CT side to decide to fall back and hold inside B. Raw then picked off towards A, but wow, what a round there so far for Nexus to pick up those guns. But at least Abe is still lurking around towards mid to support his teammates. Now it's a 2 versus 2, and the bomb only got planted now. So it could still be big right now for Nexus if they want to try to retake this site. But at the same time, you can see now from that mini-map, they decide to fall back and save their AK-47s. But that is huge. 3 kills, 2 AK-47s, and what's the money situation now for the T side?
they're going to have a solid buy next round. It's going to be Nexus who are going to be scrambling to get together what they can, and without these 2 drops, I don't know if they'd be able to. So the fact that they have them, I think, means a lot, and it looks like 3Sup recognizes this. They're going to seek out kills, though. Ape does find the first one, and DSR finds a second. Won't actually matter too much, though, coming into these last couple of rounds. Nexus looking for match point, 3Sup looking to make it competitive by tying, and I don't know who's going to find the result.
You're forcing a lot of money at this point here for 3Sup, right? You forced a full buy from all the 5 players. You win this round here, 3Sup's going to be broke as a joke when you're at game point situation for Nexus. So great job for them at least to get those 5 kills on that save round.
Yeah, they will actually be in such a bad place.
Yeah.
So this round could mean 2 for Nexus, and it won't. Man, this round could mean 2 for both teams. I mean,
that's true.
It's match point or game.
Even at this point, Nexus, if they actually lose this one, yeah, they'll be on a save. 3's up, could be on a game point situation, then it's going to be a full gun round, possibly to see an overtime. So this is actually a lot closer match than we expected for this to be, at least in my opinion. I don't know about you here, Launders, but they're actually putting up a great fight for Nexus here. So DSR is going to lob that molly that he picked up from the last round before, just to hold things back a bit for 3's up to commit up towards this catwalk area. Smokes are coming through to prevent the Opera from getting things done towards long, but RobWiz takes advantage of that ramp, and this is actually huge. They actually don't even go for a smoke. They actually went for a peek before the smoke. Thankfully, Arya gets that kill, smokes it off, and this is going to be huge for Ape. He's going to have to probably hold for a triple kill here. That's one. Bomb carrier down. Looking for a second one here. He's going to get pushed through the doors as well. His teammate falls down. He gets the second one. Sprays for the third. Trying to go for that fourth, but no avail. Arya gets the kill and gets the plant. 2 versus 1 now with RobWiz inside CT spawn. He's going to try to go for it.
1v2 situation. He's got to retake the bomb site, the B bomb site, one of the worst sites to take by yourself in the entire game. Has a couple of flashes, spots one player, big box, maybe knows the other one's tunnel now. Oh, and the round could have been his, but no, 3-Sup actually secures it. And after that amazing effort from Ape, who got those 3 kills with that spray transfer, I mean, huge frags all around. Wasn't enough, though. And they're putting him at B. I mean, this is actually really bad for Nexus. They are holding down the site with 2 people, and then Ape is the only one ever getting kills, and then they're losing the site that they're holding down with 2 people, the site that you would never play 3 people in. Yeah. So what do you do from there? And there it is, the B rush, once again.
And how crazy is this going to be, though? There is such a huge gamble for Nexus so far. They actually want to make him go broke as a joke, and it actually works so far with this stack towards B, and then almost a TK coming through as well, but Wabbit finally retaliates back, but it's a 2 versus 2. DSR is down to 44 HP. They went for this full pistol buy, and he gets the kill. Now it's a 2 versus 1. Last one is inside this B bomb site. It's going to be Wabbit. He does not have an op to try to go for a clutch, but he does have an AK-47. He sprayed it well before towards his B bomb site. Still has a lot of time to work with to try to narrow it down to a 1 versus 1. He's going to have to try to work quick. He's actually going to give him a chance to actually work together now for against the CT side. Smarter move for him indeed to walk back out.
Well, but 45 seconds remaining. I mean, he's so low on HP. His one goal right now is to make it a 1v1, but we see Nexus actually congregating towards the same site, and Wabbit actually pushing away from it. This could prove to be effective. If the bomb actually goes down, I mean, this could be a different round, but the bomb is actually migrating back to B, and this is going to fall right into the play that Nexus wanted to. And are they going to run through a molly? It looks like they are. This is going to be a hard one to win, and they don't.
My God.
RobWiz come away with it. On the eco, they were planning to play for the tie. Now they have so much money. They could have actually bought last round, and they end up winning anyway. 3-Sup lose.
That is crazy.
Match point.
And how broke are they right now? They do have an op.
3 Tech 9s.
Oh my God, this is what a round there for Nexus. And at this point, I think we're supposed to cover 3-Sup versus Ace Gaming after. But I'd love to know how CLG.Blue versus Nexus will pan out as they're playing that map after. The DSR though gets the kill onto Abe, and they're looking to close this match right now. Wabbit trying to keep the string alive by getting that kill on to DSR to retaliate back. That's already 1 Tech 9 down. At least they still have that Galil and Op to work with. Uber is also down to 7 HP.
4 on 4. Uber is really low though. I mean, he's at the point of just being blown over. I mean, he could literally tickle his armpit and he'd die.
Of laughter.
Of laughter, yeah. And the A split, is that imminent? I mean, that would actually make a lot of sense for them. Look how postured Nexus are towards defending against a B split. Yeah. And it actually will be the wrong side. I mean, this game is actually far from over, it looks like, as A is going to be very weak and very vulnerable.
You can still play from elevator, though. But they're not going to peek up. They're going to try to play the retake. Nice incendiary grenades to try to hold things back, and miscommunication there. That's a double smoke that actually covers it up, that it could have used it for something else. They at least get a bomb plant coming through here for Catwalk. But because Uber is so low on HP, he didn't want to fight back up on that elevator side. More mollies are being thrown through, or incendiary grenades rather, for the CT side. Nades up as well. And RobWiz, as soon as the smoke dissipates, he spots 3. And now they drop 3 kills here. Is it over?
It's over!
Oh my God.
Nexus win it. Wow, on the retake. After 3-Sup picked the right site.
That is crazy.
Isn't that the tail of the tape right there?
Dude, that's an amazing retake coming through there. And great plays. We thought it was going to be from DSR and from Uber, but it's amazing how much Ape has stepped up in that game.
Yeah. I mean,
easy skins, easy life, right?
He was calling, no excuses. He was calling and fragging out of his mind. Look at his beautiful face. It's the beautiful Ape. Such a cool guy too.
Man, that is crazy. Who would actually expect that to be this game in the end? So now 3s up are pretty much done because that's
0-2.
0-2 for them, and then you still have Ace Gaming that they still have to play against. But at this point, who's going to be first? Who's going to be second, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, just throw it to us.
I'll figure it out. We're just got on cam, but just check with the
Thanks.
admins.
It's totally ready for
Yeah,
that.
they have the rule books. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
All
totally-
right, guys, welcome back. Yes, indeed.
That's how I love to look on
That
camera.
that threw me off.
Just my headset like halfway up my head.
Okay, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get ready here to actually do, I guess, a post-analysis of this matchup that we just witnessed. So 3's up against Nexus, 16-14 to finish this final score.
Yeah.
What an amazing display from Ape's calls,
Yeah.
from the way he's been fragging, from DSR, the way that actually he's been holding that A bomb site. Just behind those single boxes or double boxes at the A area, he was unstoppable, right?
Yeah.
If they were able to take down Rob Wiz down towards long, he was still there to make it 2-3 kills to help actually the team get something done on Nexus' side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they had some key players just step up not every single round, but key players stepped up in key rounds that got the final result that we have now.
Yeah, I think one thing to mention is that on 3-sub side, we had like Arya picking the right site a lot of the time. You know, even though I think Nexus were set up really well in B, like hitting B made sense over and over again. They couldn't hold it apart from Ape, and they kept taking advantage of it. They really didn't overlook a good thing.
Yep.
B was working, so they kept on hitting it. And then on that last round, they ended up going A in a situation where Ape was like, all right, they're just going to go B again. You know, let's put 2 in CT, 2 in B. Like, this is what we need to do. We can't have 3 in B because that's ridiculous, but let's have 2 in CT fast rotating. And then we can just make sure that they can't split B or hit B straight on. And Arya decided to go A, and it made a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Now, they won on the retake, obviously, but I think there's more to be said about, you know, the good decisions that the IGLs made that game, even if some of the rounds weren't won based off those good decisions.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, too, it was, I don't know, what do you think their strategy changed, like, let's say, 4th or 5th round for 3's up when they actually won that pistol round? Of course, they were going against pistols, but the other times that they went against pistols that they played it slowly, they lost against Nexus.
Yeah.
I think they should have just kept playing aggressively every single round, because when they actually won those rounds, they won them decisively.
Well, yeah, I mean, they did get they lost that eco round where Wabbit was left on 1v2 because they decided to rush B once as well, right? So, you know, it was a double-edged sword for them, but at the same time, it was like the only thing that worked, and it worked even when they were playing it heavily. You know, even when Abe decided to play with a teammate there, you know, 2 rifles. He had a couple of amazing rounds that they lost, like, you know, 3 Ks. And then again, yeah, like DSR's hero efforts. You can't count out any of those rounds because it was a 16-14, like it was as close as it could possibly get. And it felt like it was going to be a 2-for-1 round in the end there. But even on the very last round, 3-sub almost had it. Like 4 players up Cat.
Yeah.
You know, it could have very easily been OT.
It would have been amazing to see an OT actually in this so far. But Nexus, basically, that's, I guess we wouldn't really say it's an upset that they had against Ace Gaming. We would expect good rivalry between these two teams because actually Ace Gaming also is a roster of full Canadians, more puggish, maybe a little bit less puggish because they used to be the old Nexus.Blue, if I'm not mistaken, that played also at RGN with McNutty and Emo. I think they might have switched maybe 1 or 2 players, but at the end of the day, when those two teams faced off, you would expect such a strong victory from Nexus to be a 16-7 final score. Now they upset 3's up. Now they're going to play up against CLG for their last game in Group A. I mean, we're supposed to be covering the other matchup, but I'm trying to see if we could maybe switch that to cover CLG versus Nexus. I mean, that'll be a way more interesting match to see if Nexus could keep riding that wave.
Yeah.
But
a lot of interesting storylines.
yeah. But at the end of the day, do you expect probably some sort of upset, a closer game if they were to play CLG, or CLG is just going to storm and dominate another team or any team that they play here in Group A?
Yeah, I think CLG looks strong enough. I mean, again, we did see another side of a 3-sup versus a team that looked really good in the first map. So it is kind of a mixed bag right now. It's hard to say who's going to play well versus another team, and if CLG will dominate every team. I don't have the answers.
I guess we'll have to just find them out sometimes. Sometimes on paper, you would think it would be CLG all the way.
Yeah.
But who knows what happens now. I mean, I did not expect 3-Up to be out of group right now if they're 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, with that nice logo and those lovely jerseys, like, out of groups.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Now, Nexus, we'll see if they actually are able to top the group, or it's just going to be that standard right after now that we know these results, if it's going to be just CLG, Nexus, and even 3-Up against Ace Gaming at this point. Like, what's going to happen with that? I mean, do you think if we were to cast Nexus versus Ace Gaming, or sorry, if we were to cast 3-Up versus Ace Gaming, what do you think would be the outcome of that match?
3-Up versus Ace Gaming?
Yeah.
A theoretical.
They're shaky. They're shaky right now, 3-Up.
I'm not going to go down that road, man, silly. It's too much for my small brain.
Yeah, I know. I guess we'll have to wait and see which match we're gonna cover, and then bring that to you guys and figure out the outcome live with all you guys as we witness it together. And then we'll actually have the other group that will be starting roughly an hour after our last match, depending how timing goes today. I think we might have to try to catch up on time, so it might be a little bit shorter break than that. So we're going to try to get more details and keep you guys in the loop and updated, of course, for that. So,
Kendall in the chat for 3-Up. Feels birthday, man.
That's not a good birthday.
No.
That's not the type of birthday present you want.
No.
Yeah. But then it's
multi-purpose candles.
So then we'll have that's actually indeed, candle for 3-Up as well for falling out of groups. We did not expect that. So Group B, we're gonna have Method, Complexity, Splice, and CLG Red. That will be happening later on this evening after the next match that we cover here, and then we'll actually be covering the first of the 2 semifinal matches tonight, just to end the night, because we actually do have a tighter schedule tomorrow. We're actually here at the same time as the CVA FanFest and also the CVA Awards, CVA being the Canadian Video Game Awards. So we are actually in the arena here in the Mattamy Athletic Center, and they actually did a great job to turn this into a gaming area and a stage for the players. But if you guys want to come by and swing by, we are here in Toronto, Ontario, and tickets are for sale on Ticketmaster. You guys can check it out on the site as well. Moving on later, though, tomorrow we will have the other semifinal matchup, and then the finals. And as we get out of group play, it'll be best out of 3s. So how, if actually you guys just tuned in, how it works, it's going to be round robins. First one is 16. Top 2 groups advances, and top 4 will at least be guaranteed $2,500, because it's $2,500 for third and fourth, $5,000 for second, and $10,000 for first. So looks like we will be covering 3-Up in Ace Gaming after all as the next match coming up here. We'll probably hopefully keep in the loop to see what's going to happen with that matchup between CLG.Blue and Nexus, as we could update some scores while we go and see actually maybe if one match finishes faster than the other one, we can hop into that CLG match as well. But confirmed now will be Ace Gaming versus 3-Up, and that will be happening in 15 minutes. So I think that'll give us a time to take a potty break, because I think you already told the world you wanted to pee. I think you want to pee some more, Launders. We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. Van Silly and Launders live here for the first Northern Arena event here in Toronto, Ontario.